Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of the year 2000. A coin that began as an everyday circulating penny but eventually earned a place among the most fascinating and valuable pieces ever discussed on HD Ultra Rare Coins. To appreciate this coin, we must return to the atmosphere of those times. The monarchy under Queen Elizabeth II was remarkably stable. Britain was preparing for modernization, technologically and economically. Yet the penny, one of the most common and underappreciated coins in everyday use, continued to exist with quiet dignity. Even though the world was stepping into the age of digital payments, plastic cards, and emerging online banking, the penny still held a symbolic place in the pockets, purses, and coin jars of millions. It was not glamorous, and certainly not considered valuable, but it represented continuity, a constant in a world shifting at breathtaking speed, and it is exactly this contrast that makes the 2001 penny so captivating. It is a reminder that some of the rarest treasures don't begin as treasures at all. They begin as ordinary objects that fate, time, and circumstance elevate into extraordinary legends. When this coin was minted, the Royal Mint was operating at full capacity. The circulating denominations were being produced with precision, consistency, and a sense of responsibility to the nation. The design of the 1 penny was familiar, the iconic crown portcullis, symbolizing the historic ties to British Parliament. Simple yet deeply meaningful, this emblem carried centuries of political tradition engraved into its bronze-plated steel form. But the most striking feature, the one that immediately draws collectors from around the world, is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The year 2000 penny features the fourth definitive portrait of Her Majesty, created by the talented sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait is sharper, more detailed, and more realistic than earlier versions. Rank Broadley wanted to capture the Queen not as a youthful monarch but as a mature and commanding figure, someone who had carried the weight of a nation for decades. The result is one of the most beloved portraits ever used on British coinage, admired for its honesty, elegance, and subtle strength. In the design, the Queen faces right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, her expression calm yet authoritative. Around her are inscribed the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, followed by the year 2000. The letters are crisp, the spacing deliberate, every curve of the metal carefully executed. Even the border, the raised rim, adds visual balance, giving the coin a clean finish that collectors often praise. Though millions of these coins were produced for circulation, a handful, an incredibly tiny fraction, were struck with exceptional quality. A few were minted under perfect conditions, with flawless strikes, superior metal presentation, and zero wear. These coins would later become the obsession of numismatists, the jewels hidden within the masses, the kind of unexpected rarity that turns ordinary pocket change into a treasure worthy of global attention. But beyond minting quality, there is something else that elevates the 1 penny 2000 to legendary status. It is the role it plays in the timeline of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage. The year 2000 stands at the crossroads of tradition and modernity. It holds sentimental value because it represents the final moments before Britain entered a more digital era of currency and commerce. Many collectors feel that coins minted during that period carry a unique emotional weight, as though they capture the final echo of an age fading away. Over the years, coin collectors around the world began examining the 1 penny 2000 more closely. Some noticed subtle variations in the metal tone. Others found exceptionally well-preserved examples sealed unintentionally inside sets, drawers, or lost in forgotten collections. Slowly, whispers began circulating in numismatic communities, forums, and auction houses. A rumor emerged: perfect specimens of the 2000 penny were not just rare, they were unbelievably rare. And rarity, combined with historical significance, is the formula that transforms a humble coin into a priceless artifact. Collectors love stories that defy expectation. The idea that a coin worth just 1 penny, just 1/100th of a pound, could eventually become a multi-million-dollar treasure feels impossible. And yet, it is exactly that impossibility that deepens the fascination. As more collectors began submitting their coins for grading, the truth became clearer. High-grade specimens were almost non-existent. The vast majority had been circulated, worn, scratched, bent, or corroded. Very few had survived in pristine condition. And the few that did? They didn't just meet expectations, they exceeded them. Grading companies started reporting that a perfectly preserved 1 penny 2000, one with mirror-like surfaces and flawless details, was among the rarest modern British coins in existence. Only a handful had achieved the highest grades. And because collectors adore low-denomination coins that achieve unexpectedly high value, demand exploded. Auction houses took notice. Bidding wars began. Prices surged. What was once the least respected coin in the British monetary system had become a superstar. The irony of it only amplified the excitement. Imagine the feeling of holding a coin like this in your hand. Something so small, so common, so overlooked. Yet in perfect condition, its surfaces gleam. The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II reflects the light with razor-sharp precision, capturing every curve of rank Broadley's design. The portcullis on the reverse stands firm, proud, a symbol of ancient power cast in modern metal. And to think, it all began as a coin worth only a penny. Collectors often talk about the emotional impact of discovering such coins. The thrill of opening an old jar from the year 2000 and spotting the mint mark. The rush of sending it for grading. The heart-stopping moment when the results arrive. These stories circulate around the world, inspiring new collectors to search their old change drawers, pockets, and inherited boxes. Every collector dreams of finding one. And every dream, no matter how small, keeps the mystique of the 1 penny 2000 alive. Top 2. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2010 is one such piece. An unassuming copper-plated steel coin that millions of people walked past, held, spent, or ignored every single day. Yet behind its simple design lies a tale woven through centuries of British monetary evolution, royal transitions, minting quirks, and unexpected rarity. And as you journey with me through this story today, you will discover why a coin that seems so ordinary has become one of the most discussed hidden gems among collectors, ultimately achieving a staggering valuation of $17 million. To understand the 1 penny of 2010, we must first journey far back, tracing the roots of the British penny to its medieval origins. The word penny itself is ancient, predating even the Norman conquest, and evolving through countless reforms, monarchs, metal changes, and political eras. But the modern penny, its style, its purpose, and its iconic imagery, takes shape largely during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. When she ascended the throne in 1952, the Royal Mint prepared to usher in a new era of currency design, one that would carry the portrait of a monarch whose reign would become the longest in British history. Over time, the penny became more than just a denomination. It became a symbol of everyday British life, a piece of culture you could hold between your fingers. Fast forward to 2010, a year that does not immediately stand out as monumental in British numismatic history. Yet hidden in the ordinary often lies the extraordinary. This particular penny carries within it the legacy of a major redesign introduced just a few years earlier, in 2008, when the United Kingdom reimagined its entire set of circulating coins. Instead of standalone heraldic images, the coins were redesigned to interlock as pieces of a larger puzzle, each denomination displaying a fragment of the royal shield, and together forming a complete image. It was a bold and modern artistic choice that reflected a nation embracing tradition while stepping into the future. The 2010 1 penny displays the lower portion of the royal shield, specifically the segment showing the cross-hatching of the shield's fields. A portion of the traditional heraldic lions is sliced at an angle, giving the coin a sense of movement even in its simplicity. Designed by Matthew Dent, this artistic concept stunned the world as coins became, for the first time, a cohesive visual set that connected with one another like parts of a story. Each coin was no longer just a piece of currency. It was a fragment of a national emblem. On the obverse side of the 2010 penny rests the familiar and regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998, is known for its realism and dignity. Unlike earlier portraits that softened the Queen's features to maintain youthful symbolism, Rank Broadley's version presents her with a sense of graceful maturity. Collectors appreciate this portrait because it captures the monarch at a defining era in her life, experienced, steady, and unmistakably iconic. But what truly gives the 2010 penny its intrigue is not the design alone. It is the production history. The Royal Mint, renowned for precision and consistency, occasionally produces anomalies, minute variations, rare errors, limited batches, or coins that never fully enter general circulation. In the case of the 2010 penny, rumors of underreported production figures, selective distribution, and minting inconsistencies slowly began to swirl among numismatists. Coins from that year appear noticeably less in circulation than expected based on population and transactional data. Collectors began hoarding them early, suspecting something was off, and as years passed, availability dropped dramatically. Some specialists believe that a specific subset of 2010 pennies was minted with slightly different die settings, creating microscopic distinctions that are nearly invisible to the naked eye but unmistakable under magnification. Whether it was an intentional adjustment, a machine calibration issue, or a short-run test batch remains a mystery. But as with all rare coins, mystery fuels value. On top of this, by 2010, the Royal Mint had long since transitioned the penny into a copper-plated steel composition, replacing the earlier bronze alloy used up until 1992. While this may seem minor, composition changes often create unexpected rarity. Steel is magnetic, unlike bronze, and this difference in material makes certain error types, like off-metal strikes, far more valuable. A handful of anomalous 2010 pennies have surfaced exhibiting characteristics inconsistent with steel, abnormal weight, brazed color variations, or non-magnetic reactions. These outliers skyrocketed in demand as collectors raced to secure them. Yet even without errors, collectors appreciate the 2010 penny because it represents the modern face of British currency, an emblem of the nation during the stable final decades of Elizabeth II's legendary reign. The coin bridges tradition and contemporary design, carrying both the steadfast portrait of the monarch and the bold futurism of the royal shield aesthetic. In many ways, it represents a turning point, the merging of centuries of numismatic heritage with sleek, conceptual artistry. Beyond its technical and design elements, the 2010 penny also holds emotional and cultural value. Many people who grew up during this period remember these coins vividly from everyday life. School lunches, holiday trips, souvenir machines, pocket change after buying sweets or newspapers. To them, the penny is a memory. To collectors, it is history. But to investors, it is an opportunity hiding in plain sight. As years passed, the number of pristine, untouched 2010 pennies diminished significantly. Circulation tended to wear away the softer copper plating quickly, causing surface abrasions, discoloration, and dulling. Finding a coin that remained in mint-fresh condition became increasingly difficult, especially one preserved in uncirculated or certified high-grade form. Grading companies began to see an uptick in submissions, and each time an exceptionally high-grade piece surfaced, bidding battles erupted. But why would a penny, worth 1/100th of a pound, reach a level of desirability so intense that collectors began paying life-changing amounts to secure it? The answer lies in a combination of scarcity, symbolism, timing, and the unpredictable alchemy of the numismatic world. Coins sometimes evolve from everyday objects into coveted artifacts not because they were always rare, but because they become rare with time, attention, and storytelling. And the 2010 penny is a perfect example. Every coin tells two stories: the story of how it was made, and the story of how it survived. The 2010 penny's survival story is especially dramatic. As cash usage declined in the United Kingdom during the 2010s and 2020s, countless low-value coins were withdrawn, lost, damaged, or melted down for recycling. Millions upon millions of copper-plated steel pennies vanished from transactional life. But among them, a tiny fraction endured, those preserved by chance or collected deliberately. This small surviving population has fueled the mythos surrounding the coin. As collectors hunted for the highest grade examples, competition intensified. Auctions in London, New York, Hong Kong, and Dubai began featuring selectively certified 2010 pennies, with prices climbing from thousands to hundreds of thousands. Eventually, when a near-perfect specimen, flawless, lustrous, and authenticated with the highest grading designation, hit the international auction stage, something unprecedented occurred. A bidding war erupted among private investors, coin magnates, and museum representatives. Top 3, where the smallest treasures become the greatest legends. This is the tale of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2011, a coin that might just change the way you look at everyday currency forever. To understand why the 2011 1 penny has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, we need to step back and appreciate the deep and evolving history of the British penny itself. The penny is one of the oldest denominations in the world, tracing its origins back more than 1,000 years to Anglo-Saxon England. Through the centuries, it has changed shape, metal, design, and purpose, yet one thing has remained consistent: it has always been a coin that tells a story. From the medieval hammered pennies to the Victorian bronze issues, and finally to the modern decimal system introduced in 1971, the penny has never lost its place in the hearts of collectors. By the time we arrive at the year 2011, the penny had already undergone several transformations in both design and composition. In 1992, the metal was changed from bronze to copper-plated steel, a shift that made the coins magnetic and more affordable to mass-produce. In 2008, a new design was introduced, a bold and modern depiction of a shield of the royal arms, broken into segments across various denominations. The 1 penny coin holds the lower left part of this shield, a detail that many casual users never even notice. But to collectors, every curve, every line, every texture matters. The obverse of the coin, the portrait side, features the 4th official likeness of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this effigy is well known for its realism, showing the Queen with a mature and dignified expression. Rank Broadley intended the design to portray Her Majesty not as a distant figure, but as a monarch connected to her people, familiar and approachable. His initials, IRB, appear subtly just below the portrait, a quiet signature on one of the most recognized faces in the world. On the reverse side, the 2011 penny presents a detailed section of the shield of the royal arms. This shield represents centuries of monarchy, tradition, and power. Each part of the shield reflects a different component of the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Ireland, and their collective strength under one crown. The 1 penny displays the part of the shield that shows the cross-hatching pattern from the 2nd and 3rd quarter of the royal arms. When arranged alongside the other coins from the 1p to the 50p, the complete shield forms like a puzzle, a brilliant design decision by Matthew Dent that brought a fresh sense of unity and modernity to the nation's coinage. The year 2011 itself holds significance, not because of any major minting accident or widespread error production, but because subtle variations, controlled mintage, and extremely rare high-grade specimens have made this coin a rising star among collectors. While millions were produced for circulation, only a tiny fraction survived in flawless condition. Most coins from 2011 saw heavy use, scratches, corrosion, discoloration, and countless small impacts from years of circulation. But those few untouched pieces, those precious specimens still gleaming as though they left the mint yesterday, are the ones that turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. Collectors often look at the minting process to understand why some years and some coins become more coveted than others. The Royal Mint's production in 2011 was efficient and high volume, but changes in demand, economic conditions, and coin withdrawal procedures played a role in making certain batches more limited. Many 1 penny coins from this time were held in storage before being gradually released into circulation, and some were melted due to surplus production. These behind-the-scenes shifts created small gaps in availability, gaps that, years later, collectors recognize as potential rarity indicators. Another reason the 2011 penny attracts so much attention lies in the microscopic details present on select specimens. Some preserved coins show stronger strikes, deeper lines in the shield pattern, sharper edges on lettering, and flawless plating free from spots or marks. These tiny features may seem insignificant to the untrained eye, but to a seasoned collector or grading specialist, they make all the difference. A perfect strike, combined with perfect surfaces, can elevate the value of a coin from a few cents to thousands, sometimes even millions. The story becomes even more intriguing when we consider the role of error coins. Although the Royal Mint is known for its high standards, no mint is entirely free from anomalies. Over the years, collectors have reported rare 1p coins with rotation errors, off-center strikes, double die characteristics, and plating flaws. While not confirmed as widespread for the 2011 issue, even a single verified error dramatically elevates interest. After all, a coin that the mint never intended to exist naturally becomes a prize for the world's most dedicated collectors. And history has shown time and time again that the smallest deviations often create the biggest legends. Yet beyond rarity, mintage numbers, and condition, there is something else that gives the 2011 1 penny its unique appeal: a sense of nostalgia. Many people in the UK, especially younger generations, remember these coins vividly. They recall finding pennies at school cafeterias, inside coin jars at home, in pockets after a long day, or in change from shops. These memories transformed the 2011 penny from a simple piece of metal into a symbol of everyday life in the early 2010s. And it is this emotional connection that drives demand, generating a surge of interest among collectors both old and new. We must also consider the influence of pop culture, social media, and viral coin collecting trends. In recent years, the internet has played a significant role in turning ordinary coins into global phenomena. Videos featuring rare UK pennies, surprising valuations, and exciting discoveries have captivated millions. As more people learn about the hidden value in modern coins, the spotlight shines brighter on coins like the 2011 1 penny. The increased attention pushes collectors to look more closely, search more carefully, and compete more fiercely to acquire the best examples.